I put myself in quite a few uncomfortable situations so I can really get out of my comfort zone and learn how to adapt to like new environments and new interactions. That's given me a lot of confidence.
What really made me be able to take action was the fact that it was the things that I love to do.
Confidence is something that you can easily learn as well. It's a learned habit and trait.
What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, really meditate on that. Because I think people get scared, and there's no good reason to be scared.
Setting different goals and different targets definitely helps me to keep going because I remind myself where I want to be.
There are so many competitions out there in the world, such as the one by the Earth Foundation, where you have the opportunity to bring any idea that you have to life, as long as your idea is good enough and you've put in the work to try and develop it as much as possible.
Failure is inevitable. People need to lose the idea that failure is a terrible thing because everyone's going to experience failure in some way.
Any entrepreneurial experience is going to be a mountain of failure, and the success is the veneer on the very top of that big mountain of failure. And the more innovative you are, the more likely you're going to fail.
But I think with strong planning, like strong critical thinking, it can be avoided. And accepting that it will happen is one thing, but also preparing for it not to happen is very important as well.
Having the mindset that failures are definitely going to come, and it's just about sort of overcoming that, because 100% it's part of the process.
You never want to fail, but how you approach failure is really going to be the test of whether you will be successful or not.
The reason I keep going is because I know that every time I don't win this competition, or I don't get this certain thing, or we don't win a game, it's really setting me up for a bigger thing. And so I'm always working towards getting to that bigger thing.
A career in entrepreneurship is basically a career in problem solving and facing resistance and overcoming it.
The more innovative, the more disruptive an idea is, the more resistance it's going to face. It's almost like a testament that you're onto the right thing.
Anytime someone told me it was a dumb idea, it was like unrealistic, it was unfeasible, it was unaffordable, I was like, I'm gonna find a way to make it affordable, realistic, and feasible.
Entrepreneurs are very known for taking crazy risks, but really, the fact is we're kind of people who take calculated risks.
I literally just make a pros and cons table and see what the potential cons are for if you made a certain decision one way or another.
I believe the best way to manage risk is through critical thinking and building an incredibly strong team.
The best way to take risks is not to take big risks, and then you can only take a few of them, but to take many small risks. And then it's okay if many of them don't work because you learn a lot, and then you can double down on the areas that are working.
If you take a risk and it's a mistake, then it's not the end of the world. You're not going to completely fall out from it. There's always an opportunity to use that risk and that failure to improve and know that, okay, so this risk really isn't worth taking. Let's take a new avenue.
My practical advice for getting out of your comfort zone is fairly intuitive, but just put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
It might seem uncomfortable in the beginning, but after a while, you sort of get used to it.
There's a lot more opportunity outside of your comfort zone, that it's okay to take that risk. And it's okay that even if you're not the most well-equipped person or the best person at it, what's important is you took that step forward and you took that first step.
I live for new experience. For me, that is the essence of life. To experience new things, experience new emotions, to meet new people. And stepping out of your comfort zone lets you do that.
Starting a startup, starting a project, probably you are in the best position to do that when you're maybe somewhere between, say, 16 and 25.
I started it when I was 12 years old, and at the time I had no idea what I was doing.
Starting a company can seem intimidating at first, but when you focus on taking steps and planning out and mapping out the steps that you need to take, it becomes a lot more comfortable to do.
The earlier you start in terms of doing anything, the more practice that you're gonna have.
I learned as I went along. I found mentors. I found people who were supportive of this. I took every opportunity to learn, and I worked alongside people who were twice and thrice my age.
You may not be very experienced yet, but experience you can hire.
Building a company, you can break into a million different parts, and you can assign those duties, segment like what you're trying to do, map it all out, and it's a lot less intimidating.
When you're 14, 15, 16, 18, people know that there's a lot of room for you to improve, and just take advantage of that opportunity to learn, to make those mistakes while you're young.
Just being able to listen to different inspiring people is definitely a good way to, also gain confidence to start up, because you see where people made mistakes and how they corrected them.
There are amazing entrepreneurs out there in the world that are starting foundations, companies, at the age of, at super young ages, right? When they're teenagers. And the only thing that I can see separating them from like any high school student is the belief that they can do it. It's about sort of believing in yourself and setting your own goals and having strong accountability mechanisms that ensure that you don't deviate.
Treat yourself as if you would someone you're teaching or someone you care about who wants to accomplish something.
Set clear objectives and then find a way to sort of check them off one at a time. You know you'll make progress.
It's up to you to set your own deadlines, up to you to whether you're going to get up and do something and accomplish something today.
The longer you do it and the more progress you make, you start to show a trend that you're onto something, you're creating something, you're creating value, you're growing. And growth powers the world.